too.
And you always hear like designers talking about bringing nature in. Like, let's just go to the nature.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like, let's just be in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just made it to the cottage and checked in for our second night at Brookledge, and it is a completely different vibe in here, but so cool. Honestly, I mean, I like them both, but as far as the decor and overall ambiance, this is more my style. Just like kind of like boho chic, really cozy. The ceilings are gorgeous. I'm obsessed with just like the multicolored wood finish. Really tasteful. I think we're gonna sleep well, and we're so tucked away from the rest of the property, which is my favorite part. We'll show you tomorrow when it's light out, because there aren't much lights here. But literally, if you walk around the porch, there's 2 rocking chairs overlooking the stream, and it's so peaceful. So far I'm doing great.
We are here in New York visiting Helen at her newly acquired property. We're so excited to have her here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So Brookledge is a 60-acre property that was once a girls camp. It was through Girls Inc. as well as Schenectady Girls Club. And it's myself, my husband, and our 12-year-old. And we live in the nurse's office, and we've been slowly fixing up the buildings to bring it back to its original glory.
So cool. So do you have dreams of owning a property one day?
No. No, we did not. I was a teacher for 17 years. I taught elementary school, and my husband owns an auto repair shop, and the plan was that we would do that until it's time to retire. And when we stumbled on this place, I just love the idea of sharing this with others, like having people come and stay in the cabins and then hosting events here. Like, it just seemed a great way to share this place. We didn't want to be greedy. And having, weddings here again and kind of paying homage to how we found the place, we were excited about it, but it was never our intention to do this. If you asked me 5 years ago if I was going to live in a nurse's office in the woods, I'd say that's a hard no, but I love it. I love it. I love it so much. And the people I get to meet, like you guys, it's just, that part's probably been my favorite that I wasn't expecting. The guests have been amazing.
And have you already started hosting any retreats or events? Because you had talked about weddings being here and that how you found this property.
Yeah, so every month we do something with kids, because I do miss the kids. So I do have different type of activities for the kids. So we did a day where they got to hang out in the water and they learned all about the tadpoles, the animal life, how to be safe around water and the importance of it. Last month we did like safety in the woods, taking the kids all through the trails and how to be safe, and that's been going pretty well. We did offer like wellness type retreats, so we had a day where there was yoga, and forest bathing is something that we're going to be bringing for the spring next year. Do you know what forest bathing is? Forest bathing is
forest bathing.
Forest
cool.
bathing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So all
Did you
about.
expand though? Because I would love to.
His eyes made it seem like he heard forced.
Not
Yeah, I thought you were
bathing.
throwing people inside of the
No, forest
Because I
bathing.
saw it's called like ice bucket pond, so I was like, okay, it's like an ice bath in there, and you just kind of like reset by being forced it.
The girls called it the ice bucket because it's cold. All the water comes from the mountains,
That's
so
cool.
it's almost never over 65. It's always chilly. But yeah, so we're going to be bringing different types of wellness events. We actually have a company that rented this place out for next weekend. They're bringing all of their staff here, and they're just going to hang out for the day. And then weddings. We have 4 weddings scheduled next year. And one of the things that the girls love, and the boys too, and the couples, is we have a fireplace down in the woods, and they love the kind of woodsy vibe that it has down there. And then the other brides and grooms love the pond. So they've really enjoyed the outdoor spaces and that there's options.
Yeah.
So that they love.
Just as far as you talking about the girls love the fireplace, like it's totally fine to say that because this was a girls' summer camp, so it's like that's such a.
But the guys love the guys love the bar.
Yeah.
They come here and they're like, yep, this is my spot. And the things that I was like, oh, like the fireplace, I really didn't think was going to be a thing. And the first bride that came, she's like, if I can get married here, this is the spot.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay. So that's when we started looking at it as an option. And I'll show it to you as far as what we've done. Like we've built a little road to it so that we can get guests who may not be as mobile to get down there. So the girls that picked the place, she's like, this is my camp chapel.
Very
So
cool.
I think that's what we're gonna call it.
I love that.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
can make a little bride trail.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So this summer you did viewings with couples, but
Yep.
you didn't do any weddings just
We
yet.
did have a wedding. We had a wedding a few weeks ago. Danielle and Eric got married here. They loved it. They did a like Mexican fiesta themed
I love it.
wedding, and we have a vintage 68 yellow Bronco. They used that for pictures and had it here on the property, so that was a lot of fun. It was a smaller wedding, less than 100 people, but it went really well and they had a great time. So they got married by the pond, and then they had like yard games set out, and then they did all of the food in the pavilion, and we had fireplace. The fireplace was going, and we did like s'mores and everything.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, it went really well. It was a great first wedding. We even had a couple 2 months ago from Vermont get engaged at the pond.
I saw a picture of that.
Yes, they got engaged down at the pond, and that was really, really sweet.
Being even slightly involved with an engagement makes me so happy. So the fact you had that on your property.
Well, and I
is
didn't
so
know it was
special.
happening, so I was walking. They had ordered a picnic basket breakfast, so I was coming down, and I saw them at the dock taking pictures and kissing, and
You're feeling the moment. You could tell
I was like,
something was up.
I saw something was up, so I didn't go bother them. And they're like, Helen, we just got engaged. And I was like, oh my gosh. So they were very sweet. I hope they come back and get married here. That would
Yeah,
be the
full
best.
circle.
I'd love to hear what your dream experience or retreat would be on this property.
I would love more of like the corporate retreats or larger gatherings where people can spread out and enjoy all of the spaces. Once everything is, all the lodging is open, which will be in the springtime, I think we'll be able to do something like that.
Very cool.
Even things like music, I'd love to have. They used to have years ago forget the name of it. It was like a bluegrass festival here. They had it from the 60s until a handful of years ago, and it was called The Last Gasp, is what it was called. And they just would spread out, and there would just be different musicians playing bluegrass music, and they would camp and hang out here.
Awesome.
So I'd love to bring something like that back here, and fill this place with people who love music and nature. That would be something great to do too.
And it really does feel like the perfect property to incorporate wellness and music and these really awesome
all those
blended
good feel things, food.
We've gotten really into like these outdoor dining experiences too, where it's just like having a beautiful dinner outside. Like it just really, it changes being connected to nature.
And you always hear like designers talking about bringing nature in. Like, let's just go to the nature.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like, let's just be in it.
Yeah. You feel better. You have instant entertainment.
Yeah.
It's inspiring. It's natural conversation.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
And then just kind of a follow up on the lodging here. So how many people would you say would sleep comfortably
That's a great
in
question.
the spring?
That's a great question. Brooke is 4, sleeps 4 adults comfortably. The bunk bed that was in there was designed for adults. The cottage sleeps 2 comfortably. The lodge, we're looking at somewhere between like 6 and 10.
Okay.
And then the glamping tents, they're quite spacious, so we can fit about 4 in each tent. So we would have quite a bit, enough for, say, at least 20 people, 20 to 25.
And then just a little bit of the size of the property.
So the entire property is 60 acres. It is very hilly, and what's nice is, as far as elevation, if you take a walk down the trails, we go up quite a bit, and you're able to get a view of Vermont and the trees and mountains, and you can see really far. One of the guests said it's a small amount of effort to get a great big return of a view. And so I thought that was kind of cool when she put it that way. I mean, you would have to normally hike hours in the Adirondacks to get a pretty view like that. So 10-minute walk and you get it here.
Love it.
We have the Crook Brook stream that runs throughout the whole property, and then that feeds the ice bucket, lovingly called by the girls, which is 10 feet deep. And you can swim in it. She's a great little pond. She does have a few fish in it, tadpoles. We're hoping we get some bigger fish in there for fishing. But that's pretty much the space. We have a lot of hardwood trees here, so oaks and maple. So as far as people who enjoy seeing the foliage, we have a lot of beautiful colors here for people that enjoy that. And that's been pretty popular for this month of October. A lot of people have been coming for that. So the entire property is 60 acres. We are pretty remote here, but there's an amazing restaurant about a mile down the road, and then we're about 15-20 minutes to Saratoga, so we're really pretty close to everything. A little bit farther for Lake George, and then Sacandaga Lake, which is a big reservoir that people enjoy in the summertime. We're about 15 minutes from that too. We have an excavator, our neighbor, who helped us with this. Wherever he did work, he would leave one for me. As like a, hey, we put our stamp of approval on this.
Awesome.
So there's the fireplace. Oh, isn't it cute?
This is dramatic as ever. Oh, wow.
And then the weddings that we have coming next year, they're draping white flowers over that. It's gonna be,
oh my gosh.
It's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be amazing.
But I love the family crest that's there. But this is where they would come down and do like their sing-along and campfire time.
This is an amazing spot for glamping tents. We've seen so many different properties that just throw glamping tents out there, and this is like one of the best I've seen.
Thanks, guys. So the guests, I want to make an outdoor space for the people here.
Cool.
So I'm picturing big patio here. The front of the building will have a big porch that comes off the front. And then I was able to find a replacement for the schoolhouse bell. So we're gonna put that back up.
Amazing. Also like a tribute to you being a teacher.
Yeah. The pavilion. We'll be doing this. This should be ready for the summertime, well, for our first wedding. And then the Brookledge sign, we just put that up 2 weeks ago.
That was so cool, like driving through that. It's like, yeah,
So
that's an iconic,
where
like.
the original Brookledge sign was. So if you look here, you can see when we came in, we found this like chunk of wood and we couldn't figure out what it was. And then I figured it out when I saw the cable. So those are the original cables. And the sign, so like here's a piece of it.
Oh, wow.
So the sign was literally laying on the ground.
There were pieces, and I'm like, what is, like I found stuff like this.
Oh, this is funny.
And I was like, what is this? Because it's obviously not natural. Yeah. I did a little research and I saw it said camp. Like there was two signs that said camp and then Brookledge. And it was like that. And it must have just rotted out. And so I recreated it, but I just got rid of camp.
So creative. That looks amazing.
Yeah, and it's
wow, Brookledge really is such a special property. This is March of 2023, and we recorded that video in October of 2022. And I can only imagine the incredible changes that have been made since then. So, Helen, you're doing an incredible job, and it was such a pleasure getting to view that property.
And we'll be dropping some more Uncharted Retreats down below here, so follow along and we'll see you on our next adventure.